I'm going to read you some direct quotes that were taken from an Israeli woman who was held hostage by Hamas for about 2 weeks. So she's an 85-year-old woman. Her name is Yocheved Lifshitz, and these are direct from quotes from her speaking about what it was like being held hostage by Hamas. Direct quotes. The people who took her hostage said they followed the Quran and promised to do no harm to her or other hostages. Yocheved and other hostages were given mattresses to sleep on and ate the same food as Hamas fighters. They also received medical care whilst being held. She says, they really took care of the sanitary side of things so we didn't get sick. Each of the 5 hostages in her group received their own doctor, and there was a paramedic present who supervised medication. She says, they were very generous to us, very kind. They kept us clean. They took care of every detail. There are a lot of women and they know about feminine hygiene, and they took care of everything there. They took care of all the needs. They talked about all kinds of things. They were very friendly. That is a direct quote from a woman who was held hostage by Hamas about the way that she was treated. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have seen in the news that Hamas and Israel have come to an agreement where Hamas will release 50 hostages and Israel will release 150 Palestinian prisoners. So these prisoners, the term prisoners implies that they have committed a crime or done something wrong. That is not the case. Israel has been holding Palestinian hostages in their prisons for decades, thousands and thousands and thousands, and this has only increased since October 7th. Save the Children released a report in 2020 detailing the experiences of Palestinian children in Israeli jails, of which there have been 12,000 plus since the year 2000. They found that en masse these children had been physically abused and beaten, verbally and psychologically abused, humiliated, kept in cages, strip searched, denied access to food and water, denied access to medical care, and interrogated without the presence of a parent or lawyer, which is illegal. And most of these children were arrested for throwing stones. If you are a Palestinian child, you can face up to 20 years in jail for throwing stones. The rate at which Israel arrests Palestinian people is so great that 2 out of 5 Palestinian men have spent time in an Israeli prison. So 2 months after Israel occupied Palestinian territories in 1967, they released Military Order 101, which means that basically any sort of civic activity can be criminalised under the basis of hostile propaganda and prohibition of incitement. This means that Palestinian people can be arrested for basically anything, for owning a Palestinian flag, for nothing. So Israel currently have 1,264 administrative detainees. What that means is that these Palestinian people have been arrested indefinitely. They are being held behind bars without facing trial, without any sort of charges. They have over 1,000 prisoners that are just being held for nothing. The Western media are controlling the narrative to an extent that you wouldn't even believe until you start questioning it. They are calling the people taken by Hamas hostages, which, yes, they are. I'm not in any way saying that that is okay. But they are calling the people being held hostage by Israel that have been held hostage for decades prisoners, which implies that they're guilty, that they've done something wrong. This isn't the case. I'm begging you to please question every single thing you read in the Western media.